wonder how many of you feel your blood pressure or your heart rate just skyrocket every time you open up your phone, your news feed, your social media.
Let him go! Let him go! Get off him!
Help
Hey, get the fuck out of here! Let me see your fucking face, bro. Let him go! Dirty ass motherfucker!
My name is Suri Crowe, and you're watching the MeidasTouch Network. You know, I've watched so many of these videos. ICE or Trump's Gestapo storming the streets of this country. And this one time, there was a happy ending. Thank God. And that's because citizens stepped in. Gosh, it matters now more than ever before. And time and again, we see the difference that bystanders can make. I mean, it doesn't in every situation, but if it makes a difference one time, then we all need to get involved and stand up for one another. In 9 months, I don't recognize this country anymore from when we had President Biden and Vice President Harris to where we are now in less than a year, the damage that this Trump regime has unleashed. Like, I knew it was going to be bad, but I had no idea how bad it was going to be. ICE agents storming our streets, storming into a low-income Chicago apartment building, zip-tying children. And dragging some of those building residents out naked in the middle of the night.
I spoke to one woman who actually lives in this building, and she says she was detained by ICE agents overnight, and she says they took everyone and then asked questions later.
They just treated us like we were nothing.
Patricia Fisher said she came out to the hallway of her apartment complex on the corner of 75th and South Shore Drive in her nightgown around 10 Monday night, only to find ICE agents yelling police.
It was scary because I've never had a gun put in my face.
Neighbors like Ebony Watson says they ducked for cover as they heard several flashbangs go off.
They was terrified. The kids was crying. People was screaming. They looked very distraught. I was out there crying when I seen the little girl come around the corner. Because they was bringing the kids out too. Had them zip tied to each other. That's all I kept asking. Where's the morality? Where's the human? One of them literally laughed. He was standing right here. He said, them kids.
There's a lot more to that story, by the way. I'm looking into it, and when I get more information, I will report back to you. But really, it's just, they are the terrorists. Flying in on Black Hawk helicopters to attack residents of this country, many of them U.S. citizens. It's a nightmare. Meanwhile, all of this in the middle of a Republican Trump-caused government shutdown. The reason? Because Republicans have absolutely refused to amend their big, ugly bill that is stealing healthcare away from at least 24 million Americans. Is going to gut Medicaid and will trigger a $500 billion stripping of funds from Medicare. I don't think that's talked about enough, but when they gutted $1 trillion from Medicaid, that triggered an automatic $500 billion cut from Medicare. So all these people who think they're safe and sound on Medicare, you have another thing coming for you. And here's how concerned Trump and his Republican cronies are about it.
When is the last time you spoke with Republican leadership?
Well, the last time there was a conversation with Republican leadership was in the White House meeting last Monday. And unfortunately, since that point in time, Republicans, including Donald Trump, have gone radio silent. And what we've seen is negotiation through deep fake videos, the House canceling votes, and of course, President Trump spending yesterday on the golf course. That's not responsible behavior. As Democrats, our view is that we will find bipartisan common ground with our Republican colleagues to reopen the government, to actually pass a spending bill that meets the needs of the American people. But we have to decisively address this Republican healthcare crisis that is devastating hardworking American taxpayers.
Yep. And here's legacy media doing the most to give Trump a pass. Once again, Meet the Press host Kirsten Welker, who is a smart woman, asks Hakeem Jeffries a question that she damn well knows the answer to. Platforming more propaganda from the right. I mean, it's just inexcusable. Listen to this clip.
You know, Democrats are demanding an extension of Obamacare tax credits, which expire at the end of the year, as well as other healthcare benefits for the funding bill. Here is what the vice president said about that this week. Take a look.
It's a lie told by the Democrats that they're not trying to give health care benefits to illegal aliens. It's a lie that is obviously untrue if you just look at the text that they gave us.
He says that Democrats are lying. What is your response to that?
Well, unfortunately, Republicans are lying because they're losing in the court of public opinion as it relates to what's going on right now. We are standing up for the health care of hardworking American taxpayers, of working class Americans, of middle class Americans, and everyday Americans who have seen over the last several months Republicans pass their one big ugly bill, largest cut to Medicaid in American history. Hospitals and nursing homes and community-based health clinics are closing all throughout the country, including in rural America. If Republicans continue to refuse to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits, tens of millions of American taxpayers are going to experience dramatically increased premiums, copays, and deductibles. And that information from their insurance companies is going out right now. Now, federal law clearly prohibits the expenditure of taxpayer dollars to provide health care to undocumented immigrants, period, full stop. And no Democrat on Capitol Hill is trying to change that law.
In fact, according to the Kaiser Family Foundation, which is a nonpartisan nonprofit, immigrants contribute to the economy through their role in the workforce and the tax payments that they make. Research shows that they actually subsidize healthcare for U.S. born people and stabilize our Medicare and Social Security. That would be the same Social Security that MAGA Republicans are looting right now to give the wealthiest Americans, those 1%ers, even bigger tax cuts. Isn't that nice of them? And the American Immigration Council states that in 2022, immigrants paid $21.5 billion in state and federal taxes, with a spending power of nearly $255 billion. Those are dollars that are spent in our local and federal economies, boosting the towns and cities that we live in, shopping in our grocery stores, putting money into our communities. Yet most of them do not qualify for any benefits. And that's because it's against federal law. All right. On rare occasions, an undocumented citizen will receive medical care benefits in this country. And that's in an emergent situation, in a car accident. You can't turn someone away if they're hurt. Like, what kind of psychopath are you? And if you think about it, it's better for the rest of us. Let's say somebody has an infectious disease. They have COVID or they have measles, which is exploding thanks to RFK Jr. And they show up at a hospital. They need treatment. You want people like that to get treatment. Because if they don't, now they're in the community and they're spreading their disease or illness to the rest of us. They're not contributing to the workforce anymore. Do you see what I'm saying? But by federal law, they are ineligible to receive healthcare, Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare. Okay. It's just a straight up lie as part of a hate and racism campaign by the right. And sadly, it's going to hurt all of us. It's hurting all of us, including, most of all, the people voting Republicans. All these MAGA heads in rural communities across the country in the red states, they are the ones who are most dependent on Medicaid and Medicare and SNAP, etc. So these immigrants that they have been conditioned to hate are putting billions of dollars into the healthcare system that those MAGA voters are relying on. They are literally cutting their nose off to spite their face. I mean, just the ignorance amongst the Republican base just drives me crazy. It is clear that the Trump regime is a lawless one. They will fire Trump-appointed U.S. attorneys the minute that USA doesn't follow the Führer's orders. We've seen this already happening here where I live in Virginia. We're seeing it happen inside the FBI as these career FBI agents, the most experienced, the ones who are keeping our country the safest, are being purged out of the agency because they are not following what Führer Trump wants. And even some of the judges that Trump installed are now fair game for the MAGA threat. Trump appointed Judge Karen Immergut just blocked his order to deploy National Guard troops to Portland, although now he's trying to do a runaround and use California National Guard troops, which Governor Gavin Newsom is now suing him for. But now Vampire-in-Chief Stephen Miller is calling Judge Immergut an insurrectionist. I mean, that is just rich coming from one of the most vile and violent people in this regime. I mean, Stephen Miller, if you ever look at his Twitter feed or his X feed, he just spits out the most reprehensible, disgusting, violent poison. And then all these other MAGA influencers, Gunther Eagleman, Benny Johnson, all jump on board. And it's honestly very scary. It's very scary. In my opinion, Stephen Miller needs to be gone. He needs to go right along with Donald Trump. I mean, Donald Trump doesn't have the drive to be quite, I mean, he's evil. He's evil. He's all about himself. But Stephen Miller really is, I mean, he's a straight up Nazi. I mean, he's terrifying. And when he says the things that he does against like Judge Immergut, that's contributing to the threats that have been rising against judges. Threats against judges have gone up. They've skyrocketed since Trump came back into office. I mean, it's just inexcusable for anyone as part of a presidential regime, like administration. We're in an upside down world. We really are. And on that note, I know it is so easy to feel powerless because so much shit, flying monkeys are just coming against the wall. But those citizens in Chicago on that one day helped that one man escape. They made a difference for him, escaping the clutches of those ICE agents. And the only reason that Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer and the majority of Democrats in Congress are holding the line against the Trump regime right now is because thousands of us blew up their phones and their emails, perhaps millions. I know because I was one of them, calling like almost every single day. I was calling not only my own reps, but I was calling Senator Schumer's office, calling Jeffrey's office. Nobody answers the phone at his office, but you can leave a voicemail. And it made a difference. It made a difference. And that this time they held the line because I really think that they might have folded and gone for the CR. And we need to stay on them. We need to let them know that, hey, you guys work for us. Remind them that this bullshit of them being beholden to the corporate lobbies and to the Israeli AIPAC lobby, that's got to go. That has got to go. Remind them, hey, Hakeem, hey, Chuck Schumer, and my own senators, you work for us. And it doesn't matter if your reps are MAGA, all the more reason, get on the horn, as my mother says, get on the horn, and call them, let them know. Okay. Keep the pressure on because the hope is that eventually all these Republicans who are so craven and power hungry are going to start to feel the pressure. And we need to let our reps know and the Democrats that as long as they have our backs, we will have theirs. And Republicans are losing the messaging battle. They're losing the PR war. I'm not a big fan of polls, but the majority of Americans are blaming Trump and the Republicans for the shutdown. They are. If you look at the Washington Post poll that just came out, the majority of Americans, including Republicans, they're tipping like, well, maybe our guy is to blame for this. And it is shameful that Republicans in the House are on yet another taxpayer-funded vacation. It's disgusting. They should have their asses back in Washington, ready to go, ready to work with, and ready to negotiate a deal to get our government going again. And we need to be holding them accountable. All right. We do have that power. And I just want to leave you with this lovely message from the late, great, legendary, and like one of my lifetime heroes, Dr. Jane Goodall.
I look back over my life. I look back at the world I've left behind. What message do I want to leave? I want to make sure that you all understand that each and every one of you has a role to play. You may not know it, you may not find it, but your life matters, and you are here for a reason. And I just hope that that reason will become apparent as you live through your life. I want you to know that whether or not you find that role that you're supposed to play, your life does matter, and that every single day you live, you make a difference in the world, and you get to choose the difference that you make. I want you to understand that we are part of the natural world, and even today, where the planet is dark, there still is hope. Don't lose hope. If you lose hope, you become apathetic and do nothing. Above all, I want you to think about the fact that we are part, when we're on planet Earth, we are part of Mother Nature. We depend on Mother Nature for clean air, for water, for food, for clothing, for everything. And as we destroy one ecosystem after another, as we create worse climate change, worse loss of diversity, we have to do everything in our power to make the world a better place for the children alive today and for those that will follow. You have it in your power to make a difference. Don't give up. There is a future for you. Do your best while you're still on this beautiful planet Earth that I look down upon from where I am now.
All of us have a role. Maybe your role isn't to be a public speaker or a journalist or a reporter, but maybe it's to make signs, to get out in the streets. Maybe it's to host gatherings at your home where other like-minded pro-democracy people can link arms and be encouraged. Maybe it's to write postcards to your representatives. Seriously, but we all have a role right now. We all have a role, like right now. Get involved. I read the comments under my videos and I see some of you are hurting and terrified and afraid you're going to lose your Medicaid or your health care. I understand. But if you have a phone, you can call. You can send an email. Do it. We all have a role. So play it while you are here. This is the time, guys. Right now, right here. Okay? Peace.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.